We continue to observe Holy Week here on Kababayan, LA. We started with discussions on how God works in our lives, some of the rituals in our Catholic faith, and some of the teachings of our Christianity. But also today on the show, we're going to be talking about that religion, but more particularly bringing it into the modern times, which is love and religion. We hear about it so much, you know, the you and me against the world syndrome. And sometimes at the start, it can be very romantic, but in the long term, it can be very difficult. It weighs couples down, and that is the story that we're going to be talking about today, along with our experts here, Father Rodel Balagas. Not to say that it's his story. Father Rodel is the pastor of Immaculate Heart Parish in LA. Hello and welcome to the show. And Gail Lafreniere, of course, every time we talk about family and marriage and dating and relationships, Gail is our resident family and marriage therapist here on the show. And Ruben is actually a letter sender. He sent us a letter on Facebook. By the way, so you're not Filipino.
No, I'm not. I'm Puerto Rican.
How did you get to write a letter to us on our Facebook page for Kababayan LA?
I was going through a situation, and I just Googled anything, you know, TV station that had to do with the Filipino culture, and I found you.
Oh, wow.
And I found your Facebook page.
Thanks to Google. Okay, what is your story?
My story is, like I said, I'm Puerto Rican, and I've been blessed to, you know, meet a young Filipino woman. There's just been some difficulties because of not only the culture, but religion, you know, and the fact that I was previously married. I'm divorced with children. It's made it very difficult for our relationship to work. The parents disagree, but that's why I wrote you, because I'm praying that there's some type of miracle that can warm their hearts and change their mind and give me the opportunity to be with her.
Is it very typical of Filipino parents to be meddling in affairs of the heart of their children, or is this present in every culture?
I think both are true. I think that it is typical for Filipino parents to meddle in with their children's affairs, but also in any parent situation, I think parents are naturally, inherently interested in what would happen with their kids, you know, having positive intentions of their children's happiness and their family life for the future.
What is the Church's stand, Father, on something like this? Are you Catholic?
I'm Christian.
So Christian.
Yes, ma'am.
Christian, and then the girl is Catholic. Girl's family is Catholic, so they disapprove. But more than that, I think they disapprove of the fact that he was previously married. He is divorced. So parents' concerns is that he won't be able to give their daughter a Catholic wedding, which is very important to Filipino parents.
Yeah, the case is more than a case of difference in religion. I think also the case about the fact that he's not Filipino, he's Puerto Rican, of a different race also. And the other thing also is he's coming into a second marriage. So for a Filipino Catholic family, that is very difficult. Perhaps their daughter is single, and they want everything the best for her, and they want her to meet a man who can really provide her with a good Catholic family.
Yeah. So you're explaining the side of the parents, what the parents are thinking.
I can see their point, because, you know, I get that a lot in the parish, and the fact is that they want to be involved.
Right.
At the same time, they want to give them some freedom. Right. But just because they're their children, they really want to make sure they have a good family, future family. So,
what would you, given that situation, Father, would be your advice to Ruben? What should he do? Should he just forget her? Should they try to move on without each other? Because is there a point of resolution?
I think first, Ruben, you need to understand where the Catholic Church stands in regards to mixed marriage. It's very clear in canon law that the Catholic Church does not encourage mixed marriage for the sake of the faith of the person you're marrying, so that he or she is not going to fall from her or his Catholic faith. In other words, that no one will prevent him or her from practicing her Catholic faith, because that is a very integral part of her life, being a Catholic. And the second is that the children born out of marriage will grow up Catholic, to make sure that she or he will raise her children Catholics.
If that is one part of the problem, how willing are you to convert to Catholicism? Do you think with that appease?
You know, I would never, honestly, I would never convert just to be with somebody. But if it's something that I prayed on and that decision, you know, came, then it would be because, you know, I felt that it was something I prayed on and it was the right decision. If it comes to kids and whatnot, if I'm blessed to make it that far, as I was saying earlier before we started, as long as my children know who the Lord is, I would love for them to be raised Catholic. Mind you, I was baptized Catholic. I walked away from the church, you know, and you know, when I came back, it wasn't to a Catholic church. I love the religion, to be honest with you.
Very quickly, and we have more discussions when we return, but just before I let you go, is it as simple as that? Is it as simple as converting?
I don't think so, because I think at some point in the relationship, because there is a difference, as Father Riddell said, that there are several issues here that we're dealing with, the religion, the difference between religions, the race, and also personal beliefs of the parents, and also the ability of your fiance to make a decision on her own, which may be in conflict with the family. At some point, that will happen in a relationship. And so I think it's important. I mean, it's good to really look at it positively, that you can discuss it now before the relationship is consummated, so that you can have that.
There are different points, no, and some relationships really don't make it, but there are relationships who do make it despite a difference in religion. And one of those relationships, a guy that will be joining us when we return, he actually went through the same thing. Maybe he has more advice for you when we return on the show. Don't go away.